Bilbo was very rich and very peculiar, and had been the wonder of the Shire for 60 years, ever since his remarkable disappearance and unexpected return. The riches he had brought back from his travels had now become a local legend, and it was popularly believed, whatever the old folk might say, that the hill at Bag End was full of tunnels stuffed with treasure. And if that was not enough for fame, there was also this prolonged vigor to marvel at. Time wore on, but it seemed to have little effect on Mr. Baggins. At 90 he was much the same as at 50. At 99 they began to call him well preserved, but unchanged would have been near the mark. There were some that shook their heads and thought this was too much for a good thing. It seemed unfair that anyone should possess apparently perpetual youth as well as inexhaustible wealth. It will have to be paid for, they said. It is natural and trouble will come of it. But so far trouble had not come. And Mr. Baggins was generous with the money. Most people were willing to forgive him his oddities and his good fortune. He remained on visiting terms with his relatives, and he had many devoted admirers among the hobbits of the poor and unimportant families. But he had no close friends until some of his younger cousins began to grow up. The eldest of these, and Bilbo's favorite, was young Frodo Baggins. When Bilbo was 99, he adopted Frodo as his heir, and brought him to live at Bag End, as the hopes of the Sackville Bagginses were finally dashed. Bilbo and Frodo happened to have the same birthday, September the 22nd. "You had better come and live here, Frodo, my lad," said Bilbo one day, "and then we can celebrate our birthday parties comfortably together." At the time Frodo was still in his tweens, as the hobbits called the irresponsible 20s, between the childhood and coming of age at 33. 12 more years have passed. Each year the Bagginses have given very lively combined birthday parties at the Bag End, but now it was understood that something quite exceptional was being planned for that autumn. Bilbo was going to be 11, a rather curious number, and a very respectable age for a hobbit, and Frodo was going to be 33, another important number, the date of his coming of age. Tongues began to wag in Hobbiton and Bywater, and the rumor of the coming event travelled all over the Shire. The history and character of Mr. Bilbo Baggins became once again the chief topic of conversation, and the older folk suddenly found their reminiscence in welcome demand. That was ridiculous.